Nemo was a young clownfish who lived in the colorful coral reef with his father Marlin. He was curious and brave, but also a little reckless. He loved to explore the ocean and make new friends, but sometimes he got into trouble. One day, he decided to swim away from his home and see the big blue world. He saw many amazing things, like a sunken ship, a giant whale, and a school of fish that could make different shapes. He also met a friendly but forgetful blue Tang named Dory, who joined him on his adventure. But Nemo's adventure turned into a nightmare when he was captured by a diver and taken to a dentist's office in Sydney. There, he was put in a fish tank with other fish who had been taken from the ocean. They told him that he was going to be given to the dentist's niece, Darla, who was notorious for killing fish. Nemo was terrified and wanted to go back to his father, but he didn't know how to escape from the tank. He tried to befriend the other fish, who had different personalities and quirks. There was Gill, the leader of the tank gang, who had a scarred fin and a daring spirit. There was Bloat, a puffer fish who inflated when he was nervous. There was Peach, a starfish who stuck to the glass and observed everything. There was Gurgle, a royal grandma who was obsessed with cleanliness. There was Bubbles, a yellow Tang who loved bubbles. There was Deb, a striped damselfish who thought she had a sister named Flo. And there was Jacques, a cleaner shrimp who cleaned everything. Nemo learned that the fish had a plan to escape from the tank. They called it Operation Fish Freedom. The plan involved jamming the filter, making the water dirty, and forcing the dentist to take them out and put them in plastic bags. Then, they would roll out of the window and into the harbor, where they would find their way back to the ocean. Nemo was impressed by the plan and wanted to help. He volunteered to jam the filter, since he was the smallest and could fit inside. He managed to do it, but he also got hurt by the blades. The other fish cheered for him and welcomed him as one of them. Meanwhile, Marlin was looking for Nemo all over the ocean. He was worried sick and blamed himself for letting Nemo go. He also met Dory, who had lost Nemo when the diver took him. Dory wanted to help Marlin find his son, but she had a problem. She suffered from short-term memory loss. She could barely remember anything, not even her own name. Marlin and Dory faced many dangers and obstacles on their journey. They encountered a trio of sharks who claimed to be vegetarians, but had a hard time resisting their instincts. They escaped from a field of deadly jellyfish with the help of a group of friendly sea turtles. They hitched a ride on a pelican who flew them to Sydney. They also met other ocean creatures, like a friendly whale, a sarcastic octopus, and a school of moonfish. Along the way, Marlin learned to trust Dory and appreciate her optimism and kindness. He also learned to be more adventurous and less overprotective. He realized that Nemo was capable of taking care of himself and that he should let him live his own life. Nemo and his tank friends managed to execute their plan and escape from the dentist's office. They rolled out of the window and into the harbor, where they hoped to find the ocean. But they didn't know that Darla was coming to get Nemo. She saw him in his plastic bag and grabbed him. She ran outside, where she bumped into Marlin and Dory, who had just arrived. Marlin recognized Nemo and was overjoyed to see him. He called out his name and tried to get him back, but Darla didn't listen. She shook the bag violently, making Nemo dizzy and unconscious. She was about to throw him into the water when a seagull snatched the bag from her hand. The seagull flew away, with Marlin and Dory chasing after him. The seagull dropped the bag into the water, where Nemo floated lifelessly. Marlin and Dory reached him and tried to wake him up. Marlin was heartbroken and thought he had lost his son. He hugged him and told him he loved him. He also thanked Dory for helping him and said goodbye to her. But then, Nemo opened his eyes and smiled. He was alive! He hugged his father and told him he loved him too. He also thanked Dory for being his friend and asked her to stay with them. Dory was happy and agreed. Nemo, Marlin, and Dory reunited with the other fish, who had also made it to the ocean. They celebrated their freedom and their friendship. They decided to stay together and explore the ocean as a family. They also promised to never forget each other, especially Dory.